Okay, so I'm getting some feedback. We don't have sound. Is this true? Let me see. Oh, goody. Can you hear me, guys? Let's see. All right. I'll stop it here for a second. I wanted to show you, and welcome to UnSilent Majority Report. This is episode 5, Alphabet Soup, Pharmakeia, and the Occult Oh My. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how the occult is attempting to change our culture here in the United States and across the world. Joining me today, I've got several of my friends here, grassroots conservative activists from across the state of Texas. Jason Wilson joined us last Thursday with Rebecca, discuss legislature and the education that people have been getting handed to them for the past 3 years. And he is not here yet, but I wanted to promote his Facebook page, Abilene Information Network. That is facebook.com/Abilene Vax Info Network if you're looking it up. Next, I have Abilene Freedom League. Sarah is right here. Everybody say hi to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Sarah's been my longtime friend on Facebook. She's been doing some great activism work there in medical freedom community, and I think very highly of her. Okay, next up is Chad Green. You can find his Facebook page in the description below if you want to follow him. He is the McKinney ISD conservative board member that they've got there. Where are you, Chad? Here we are. Hi, Chad.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Good. Thank you again for coming on here. Chad was on Wednesday. I still have not uploaded that pre-recorded interview. I'm getting the scoop on what's happening at McKinney ISD, but maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that today. And all right, moving on. Let's see. I think the last guest we've got here currently, oh no, I've got 2 more, is Kyle Sims, also at McKinney ISD. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How's everybody else doing?
Doing quite well. Kyle Sims, you can follow him at Twitter and Instagram. And I'm getting some feedback here, Kyle, I think from you. But I'm going to turn my share down. You can find those links at the description below. And last but not least, and he doesn't have one to share. Sorry about that. I'm trying to toggle back and forth here. Is my friend and newly elected elder at my congregation, Brandon Hall. Welcome, Brandon. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Pleasure. Glad to be here.
Brandon is in Belton ISD, and we're all here to talk about insanity that is the woke agenda in the school boards. So I'm going to continue on. The first video is attempting to show you, and I don't know why the sound is not going, was of how has the occult and how has Harry Potter been shaping you and preparing you to accept the occult. If you can see this screen here, bring it right back up. I'm still trying to figure out, guys, so bear with me here. But You can look up, has the Harry Potter franchise seduced an entire generation into the occult? I'm not going to play it for you today because it's just still not functioning. But you should watch it because it is quite interesting. Okay, again, welcome to UnSilent Majority Report. If you have not yet, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be informed on when we're going live. But you can also memorize it. And remember, I am airing Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. I'll do interviews or sometimes just talk by myself if I have no friends coming on here. You can also check out my Patreon. I don't have anything really going on here yet, but if you want to support monetarily, you can go to Patreon. I've got a few different membership tiers like Keyboard Warrior, Activist, Legislator on Dial, Dedicated, Block Walker, and the official public testimony dedicated at $50 a month. Of course, if you anything would help me, you can also do Cash App, which is down in the description below. I am trying to get my Rumble channel set up. I currently have 2 subscribers. Thank you to the 2 who are signed up. I'll hopefully get stuff there soon, but you have to kind of go through a rigmarole before you get Rumble going. You might be asking yourself, okay, really, Kate, are you putting the occult and the alphabet people and pharmaceuticals all together like some crazy, it's aliens guy? Yes, I am, because I see, as an INFJ, I can point out or spot little things that connect things together for a big picture. And I'm going to kind of show you how. And there are people here with me today who know what I'm talking about. But as an INFJ, I also care about people quite a lot. One of the groups of people who are hurt during the pandemic were small businesses. That was one of their goals, right? Was to eliminate the small business. If you have 10 or more employees and you made it through 2020 and 2021, you might be entitled up to $26,000 per employee in stimulus funding. If you go to the link in the description below for your ERC, that is the Employee Retention Tax Credit Service from Jorns and Associates. You can see how you qualify, find out if you qualify by clicking this button right here. They are a CPA service dedicated to getting you relief money that is owed to you, the small business. You can register here and make sure that the referral number 114627171 is attached to your application. So you can see you can have up to $26,000 per employee. It's available for 2020 and quarter 1 through 3 of 2021. You qualify with decreased revenue or COVID event. There's no limit on funding, and ERC is a refundable tax credit. So please, if you have a small business and you have 10 or more people, check it out. You won't regret it. Trust me. All right. Next up, I want to, and by the way, if you haven't yet, I've got UnSilent Majority, but as you can see, I've got hashtag my INFJ Life channel. I have not processed any of my content yet so that I put videos here yet, but you can go ahead and subscribe. And when I do, you'll get a notification. All right. The proverbial wife. I am not claiming to be the proverbial wife by any means, but I want to promote that idea that's important. And a couple of things that are important to me as a mom and a wife is getting clean products for my family. And there are two different companies that I really trust for that. One is Poofy Organics. They've got a huge slew of bath, beauty, and home products like trying to think, dryer oil that you can put on wool dryer balls, soaps, and you can see this is just a little smattering of everything they've got. One of my favorites is their everything soap and their dish soap. Those are two very hot items in our household. Next, oh yeah, and if you didn't catch it, there is a 10% on the top summer products that they have, the top 10 summer products. So that is only available for the next little while until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hop on there, theproverbialwife.poofyorganics.com. Check that out. Okay, and then last, I've got earthly.com. They just have a men's line out that's new, and you want to make sure that I am there. Your earthly representative is Kate Pamplin. Make sure that I'm on that if you're wanting to support this channel. Again, if you haven't liked or subscribed or hit the notification bell, please, please, please do that. And now for everything that you were interested in today. So we're going to talk about this picture. I posted this on Facebook, and it's a lot of things all at once, isn't it? So we've got LGBT books on top, if you can't see that, all the way moving down into occult books. This was taken at Barnes and Noble a few weeks ago. And yeah, I think I posted something to the akin of, yeah, if you had any question that Pharmakeia, pharmaceuticals, and the occult went together, well, here's your sign. And now Target is getting ready. Kyle, you posted this. You shared this. Satan respects pronouns with a dude. I don't know what he's wearing. Trying to look like Baphomet, I suppose. Just totally appalling. And this guy started sharing a TikTok. Y'all tell me if y'all can hear this. The content, you know. Y'all give me feedback on YouTube, please. Okay, well, that was interesting. And then, you know, you've got this stuff going on at Magnolia ISD. They have no problems funding the United agenda. Well, wait, what? The United Nations agenda? So, you know, these are all just a little snippet of what I've come across over the past day or two, or I guess the past couple of months, really. This morning, I get on Google, and what have they got here? Like some Native American trans activist thing going on? Or what is this? Y'all know what this is? Guys? Here, I'm gonna.
Yes, I didn't know you. I'm sorry. We were muted earlier, and so I didn't know when we were able to chime in. But
yeah, you're back. Hey, Jason's here. Hold on a second. There you go. Hi, Jason.
Hey, I'm in Keller now. Hey,
Thanks, Kate.
All right. So Sarah, yeah, tell
Sarah.
everybody what that is.
Okay. It looks like the trans and the pride flag, and I'm not sure what else. Can I clarify something really quick, Katie, about that was in the introduction?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sorry
Sure.
because this is my fault. But when you asked me if there was any web pages that I wanted to promote or talk about, I sent you the Abilene Freedom League. So that's not my group or anything. I had a very small part.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. The reason I sent it was because they're doing amazing work and they're in my community, and so I thought, yeah, well, I'd love to promote them. So that's my fault. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm not on that group or anything.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out this restream thing, and it's like not working with me at all. I don't get it. What is?
You did a great job, Kate.
Yeah, you are.
I can't do it all. Okay, here we are.
There we go.
We're all on here now. So go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, I know the baby blue and baby pink is trans, and then like I said, it looks like the pride. I don't know why it's shaped like that or what the other stuff means. But.
Yeah, so of course I went on here and I clicked on the the link that they had on the wiki for Barbara May Cameron, and look how small this Wikipedia is on her. It's really not a lot. And you're like, okay, so you get a whole Google day dedicated to you. Well, apparently she's a Native American gay rights person, and she passed away several years ago. But look at this. Look at this. She was appointed by Frank Jordan, the next mayor, wherever she was from, to serve on the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. Huh. Is that the same United Nations women thing that's going on here at Magnolia ISD? It's infiltrated our schools. I believe it is. So, yeah, moving on. Let's just kind of plop down there and talk a little bit about the LGBT agenda in your school districts. And it's an open floor. You just kind of talk. Whatever you want to share.
Okay. Can I say something?
Sure.
On the topic of transgenderism and all this going on, I've gotten to know some of these people, and they're sweet people, and I don't want to come off as saying that we are against them, but we are against the indoctrination of kids, and of kids being put into environments that don't really make sense in the context of education. So we're not against I personally, I'm not going to judge anyone. I'm not in a position to do that. But I do not want kids exposed to confusing ideologies, I guess I should say, that really are not very common, or, would often be referred to as being mental illness, frankly.
Thanks for chiming in, Jason. How do you feel about that, Kyle?
Well, I have a lot of, I don't have any transgender friends. I've got a lot of gay friends. But my issue is with the children. I don't care what you do when you're 18 years old or older. But as Jason said, indoctrinating these children, and what we're seeing in all the districts around Texas and across the country for that matter, this has become a fashion statement for parents to transgender their child. That's where we have to put the focus. I mean, the stuff I see here in McKinney and Chad can confess to this, that this has taken over many communities, and there's just nobody talking about it except a few of us. And we have to get more people engaged to make them understand that these children are not even fully developed in their brain until their mid-20s. So why are we doing this to our children?
And Kyle, I have to clarify. You said, and I also do not have not only very few gay friends, but zero transgender friends. I refer to young people here when I say that as students.
Sure.
So it's something that's becoming apparently more and more people are identifying this way because of the way it's been pushed.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll kind of step in there a little bit. What's going on in our school districts? And Kyle knows a lot about this. He's been very helpful with exposing what's going on there. But we'll kind of bring together both the satanic side of things as well as the hypersexualization, which the transgender discussion is part of that. And because it's not just that. I mean, you're going to find books in your libraries and things that are being pushed on kids that are normal heterosexual sex, but it's being pushed all throughout the school district. And where these kids have access to these books, access to the videos, and so forth. But I received this in the mail just the other day. Everybody sees that this is from the Satanic Temple. And in McKinney, we just happen to have our big LGBTQIA driver is also the head Satanist in the area as well. And admittedly so. And we've even got a picture of him. I think Kyle has it with him wearing Not Today Jesus. And he's got a goat head on his shirt with rainbow horns on it. But he's been very successful in working with the board and getting, for instance, genital binding clubs at one of our high schools. He got the school district to allow that to be there, where they talk to kids about their being transgender. They are able to send them to clinics or refer them to clinics. And my understanding also is that they pay for the things that they bind their genitals up with. So he's been successful with that. He was successful with moving our graduation from Prestonwood Church to making us rent a facility in Allen. So our board has been working with him for at least 5 years, if not more than that. In fact, even got the school board to agree to allow his daughter, who is transgender and claims to be a boy now, allowed her to spend the night in the boys' dorm room with the other boys in an away trip that was school sponsored.
And took hormone shots on the bus.
Yeah, and it, parents didn't know about this because they weren't informed. So we have administration not telling the parents about it and quietly working with the people that are promoting these things to make it happen. And then we've got the school board that's not telling anybody because they don't want to be held to a vote, and they're agreeing with these things. So it really is a problem. And if you don't think your child's not being exposed to this in elementary school, I would start looking at everything they get from home. I mean, from school, everything, even including TV shows that they're watching at home. I mean, they are trying to push it down these kids' throats. And I'm really a firm believer that, the sexual discussion needs to happen at home between the parents, and it shouldn't happen until into the puberty years of the kids. You don't start exposing kids into any of that because it's so addictive to get into that line of thought. Our primary responsibility as a school district and school board is to teach the kids mathematics, reading, language arts, science, social studies. And we're not doing a good job with that. So let's go get into the hypersexualization game. Why not focus on that? It's really discouraging.
Now look at this is Blue's Clues. You just mentioned this kids' TV. I never thought I would see a day where they got a drag queen and a whole pride parade on Blue's Clues. Like,
yep.
What are you living?
Hey, you did not tell me that we'd be talking about Satanism tonight. I mean, I'm thrilled to be actually able to talk on something like this. I also mentioned something quickly. We're talking about the satanic connection. Michael Aquino, Aquino. Michael Aquino. He was had top secret clearance in the U.S. Army. He was a top Satanist, satanic priest in Anton LaVey's Satanic Church, and started his own Temple of Set. And he was head of armies, or he was a top operative in psychological operations in the U.S. Army. Is there not a connection here to what's happening with the Satanic Church and what's happening with our children?
Well, I think there is, in that the church, as it was meant to be, has vacated the public square space. So all of the other board members, the majority of board members I sit with, all go to McKinney, First McKinney, which used to be First McKinney Baptist. They all go there and attend there. Some of them are actually on staff there. And most of the administrators at our administrative office go there as well. And yet you've got that church being compliant with this type of agenda, that's gone soft on this type of agenda. And I know several people that have tried to bring the church elders together to discuss this thing, and they just won't have it. In fact, one of the school board members is an elder at that church. So it's really, being a chaplain, knowing my king, it's really discouraging to me to see churches go this direction. And at the same time, now we've got other churches waking up and beginning to stand against it. But the ones that have the power and have the authority, man's authority at least, are completely complicit with these things.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, this stuff.
When you bring up churches, going against this, Brandon, you want to talk about what happened a year ago?
In regards to what specifically? I mean, there's so much. So
fighting against the LGBT agenda in our city.
Oh, at the church itself, at the church on the square, just really.
Yeah, sure.
When the small church in Georgetown realized that there was a citywide mural that was posted on the side of a building, and the city had specific criteria that were required for any mural. And in Georgetown, one of the big things is the poppies, the red poppies that kind of are a staple and an icon of the town. And so what a group of a teacher and a group of students did is they created a mural that, instead of making red poppies, they used poppies that signified all of the different letters for the LGBTQ movement and the different colors and flags that are associated with it, that completely violated the town requirements and broke the rules of what they were was allowable. Yet nothing was said by any community leader except for a couple pastors, and they stood up at the meeting and just said, basically, this goes against your own rules, and tried to hold them accountable. And the backlash that occurred against this one church that stood up, very small church that stood up and just basically stated, you're violating your own rules. The backlash was tremendous by a very small but vocal group, and it ended up getting the church kicked out of a building that they were renting. They found some little clause in the lease that they tried to lean on, and used that to remove the church and basically try and shut them down. And of course, it didn't work. God's word is powerful, and people that stand up for it are, the Lord will honor. The church is still meeting and thriving, but it's really interesting to see just the absolute venomous response that occurred just by stating that the city council broke their own rules by allowing this mural.
We can't hear you.
Sorry, I was saying that I was one of the people that had spoken out. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And what a time to be alive, doubt. And I think it was one of the only times where I really felt the spirit kind of enter a place, even though we were on this, on the square in an outdoor space. And I think we reached a lot of people that way, and God was like forcing us out there in public view because he's taken a stand against the LGBT agenda in that town. And anyway, I'm really glad to be a part of that. I think it's really important that people get out there, like y'all have been saying. Your churches need to be standing up, and if they're not standing up, you got to ask yourself, do you really want to be a part of lukewarm Christianity? It's just all I got to say there. So does anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about before we move on a little bit?
Well, I'd just like to say one thing.
Yes.
What more people need to do is not only in your local community, but we need to start holding our legislators accountable. We need to put the pressure on the legislators to where they feel so much heat. They're going to, and I know that we've got a couple of bills that, Senate Bill 14 and hopefully House Bill 900, but we have to start getting more engaged with our legislators and our county officials and start putting the pressure really, really hot to them to get them more involved in this process of getting this stuff out of our schools and our communities.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm going to talk a little bit about that here, but right now I wanted to talk to you about some investigation I did at my local HEB not too long ago. I, from time to time, will go speak with the pharmacists and see what's going on in the vaccine world. And I just want to play this for you. Please tell me if y'all can hear it. And maybe it'll go. Just thinking about it, guys. Oh no, I get the spinning wheel of doom. I'm going to shut some tabs down real quick. Does anybody else need visuals? Give me 1 second. That's not it.
Everything's looking good on Facebook, by the way. I've been keeping an eye on it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I know
I can only do so much.
Yeah.
Well, while
of
this
course,
is loading,
it's not going to play, right?
While this is loading, I think one of the things that either Kyle or Chad said was that it's really important to be aware of what your children are bringing home from school. Just because you live in a community that claims to be Christian or even have school board members that go to a church and maybe even hold a leadership position, do not necessarily follow what the Bible says. They fear man over the Lord. And the focus on children is absolutely intentional, because there was a Rasmussen poll that has been out for some time now that basically said a worldview is usually set by the age of 13. And so if you can get someone to believe something by the age of 13, which is why advertisers focus so heavily on children, is that if they can get them to buy a product at a young age, they will buy that product for the rest of their life usually. And same thing with a viewpoint. If you can get someone to believe something at age 12 or 13, whether it is true or not, it is very difficult to change their mind almost for the rest of their life. So it's so vital to remember that children are incredibly impressionable, and their worldview kind of gets set at a very early age, much earlier than we'd think.
Can I add something?
And
go
Go ahead.
There,
Go ahead, Sarah. Let me get you.
but he brought up the exact thing I was thinking about when Chad was talking. Was it's not even just what they bring home from school. You know, they make it very difficult to see what they're learning in school. And so you have to be in their Google Classroom, or you have to, and you're able to say that you don't even want them on those devices, and the school has to provide paperwork, or better yet, you know, pull them out of these schools. And that was my problem with the library book, because we had an issue with the book here in Abilene, and that's just the one we found. But like my problem was I am dropping my kid off to school, and I am not in control after they hit the curb and go in that building. I don't know what they're grabbing off the shelves in the library. You know, the kindergartners aren't even allowed, at least in our district, to bring the books home. And so it's not like I'm walking them into a city library holding their hand and we're going down the roads together. I don't know what they're seeing at school. And so, you know, I mean, that's another thing, is it's not just about the work that's coming home. There's so much of it we don't even know.
Can I add, Sarah?
And I sent you that thing.
We did not find that book. That book was pushed into our laps by one of the librarians themselves.
A parent.
And here's
a librarian. You've got the parents' help.
Really quick, I wanted.
Yeah.
But we were pointed out that book was inappropriate by a librarian.
Librarians doing agendas.
No, the librarian.
That's one I wanted to talk about. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sorry.
What I wanted to talk about the Harry Potter thing is, you know, our generation, we were mesmerized, right, by the Harry Potter series. And, well, I guess I'm a little bit younger than everybody. That was just such a big part of our lives. I mean, Harry Potter the movie came out when I was 11, and they were 11 on screen. And anyway, you just follow it all through college. You know, got Harry Potter theme park, and if you go to Barnes and Noble, there's an entire, you know, just giant section of Harry Potter, and everyone's like, oh, it's sin. But really, when you see the rise of the occult in our society, my generation is so lost. There's so many people who are just like, oh, I'm spiritual, or they're doing crystals or Reiki, or, you know. And my problem with Harry Potter is that you've got light and dark magic, but it's both evil, and it blurs that line. You know, and a kid, they're like, well, these guys are good and these guys are bad. Well, they're all like, you know, not doing what God wants them to do, because God does not want them doing witchcraft. What does that word mean anyway, though?
Even Oprah Winfrey had the Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino on her show. You can go look at this clip. And even Oprah Winfrey called out Colonel Aquino, who was the head of psychological operations for the U.S. Army, or a head of it. I mean, this is creepy stuff. There are connections between satanic activity and victimization of people, all used for brainwashing and and also enemy subversion.
Totally. And, you know, they like to say we're in the Great Reset. I'd like to say we're in the Great Deception, to be honest. Okay, I think a video to work, and we'll talk more about what does witchcraft even look like. Still can't hear it.
No.
My life. Okay, I'm just gonna
tell us about it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know why I can't get that to work. Okay, you can go on my Facebook, you can go on my story, but this pharmaceutical and this pharmacist, I'm pretty sure she was the pharmacist. I'm gonna turn my sound down a little bit because I'm getting some reverb. Told me after I asked for the package insert on the Pfizer shot, they said, we checked in a brand new box, like we opened it, and there is no package insert anymore in there. I mean, it was just blank, but now there's literally nothing. And she's telling me that all they have to give is the vaccine information sheet and it's all good. That covers their bases. And it's like, those sheets don't even really tell you about the ramifications of the vaccine. They just scare you about the disease.
Or the
Right?
ingredients.
Has anybody looked at these?
Yeah, they don't have ingredients. I would have liked to have asked her,
Yeah.
how is that informed consent? How long was your informed consent?
That's exactly what Yeah. I did ask her, how are you giving people informed consent if they can't see the package insert? And she's like, oh, well, we don't have to by law. They just need the vaccine information sheet that's given to us by the CDC. And all they have, I don't even know if they have a physical copy. They just have these QR codes. And like old people are even going to know how to access those. No offense, old people.
Right.
We love you dearly. I know
You're talking about us. I know that.
Yeah, informed consent is a code of ethics. It's not a law. If you need a law to make you do what's right, when you're injecting someone with chemicals and, depending on the vaccine, aborted fetal cells, carcinogens, I'm sorry, then you shouldn't be in a position to do that if you need a law to force you.
I don't know. I don't think we need a law. I was having this conversation this weekend. I think the federal government has kind of proven they're not going to subject themselves to the laws that we have currently on the books. I think we need a revival through the entire United States. I think it's got to be done. It's not if and when, it has to happen. And one of my good friends that we were having dinner with Saturday night, she's a doctor and she's an anesthesiologist. And she said, you would not believe how many people now are dying because of, the hearts are becoming enlarged or different things are going on in their body. And she says the statistics are so far out of bounds, no one will report them. She said she knows researchers that are trying to get their research out about these things, and they're completely and totally hushed. We've got to start paying attention. It is every Christian out there has to start paying attention and praying for accountability with our government at all levels and with our church at all levels. We've all engaged in witchcraft in some way, shape, or manner. We've all, really gone after people within the church and started rumors. That's witchcraft. That's manipulate. Anytime you try to manipulate somebody, the Bible says this is witchcraft, right? So we've all done it, and it's time for us to repent of this stuff, because otherwise the enemy has a place in us. There's nothing that we can do that's effective against it. And we've really got to get back to who Jesus is and really attempting and working at becoming closer and closer to him.
I agree. And can I just add, I think also, what one thing that worries me is the breakdown of the family. Like, people talk about taking back their city, their county, their state, but do we even have our own families? There's been such a breakdown in the American family unit all across the United States, even in small rural places. It disturbs me. Do we even have the foundation on which to build a decent society? It starts with your family, not with your even city council and mayoral elections. It starts with your family first.
Absolutely. And you're skipping ahead there, Jason. So, real quick, I want to talk about pharmaceutical.
Christian part.
Okay, that comes from the Greek Pharmakeia. If you look up the Greek concordance 5331 Pharmakeia, it tells you that the word they use in Revelation 21:8 and Galatians 5 is Pharmakeia. That's when they say witchcraft in English. It's Pharmakeia. And as you can see, it's idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, okay, help word studies 5331 Pharmakeia, from Pharmakeo, administer drugs, properly drug related sorcery like the practice of magical arts. And this is kind of why I'm like, really, I know it's a kind of nebulous and hard to tack down thing at first when you're talking about, well, how is Harry Potter related to this? But Harry Potter's related to this because it's the occult and brainwashing our people for generations to believe that we need Pharmakeia to save us. They put people on doctors on a pedestal, and as far as I'm concerned, they're pretty much drug pushers, and they're practicing Pharmakeia. I don't know how else to, that's the easiest way to talk about that. But witchcraft, you've got blood sacrifice, right? Let me get to that page. So in 2020, the very first part of 2020, I was doing activism for pro-life and trying to draw focus on how the pharmaceutical industry depends on abortion, on child murder, infant murder, to operate. And I let it go. I let the website go, but the question is, you say you're pro-life, but are you actually? Do you support abortion? You might, and you just didn't know it. And people don't know that there are aborted fetal cell lines used to make vaccines. They weren't just forever ago, which I don't see how that negates the evil nature of this. But this was the website I had created back then. And so at least 300 babies have gone into the aborted fetal cell line since the 1960s. So it's not like it was just one child aborted forever ago. And Leviticus 20:1-5 really, I would say, tells you that you should not sacrifice your children to Molech. And if you know that someone is, you need to, remove them from society. And if you support it, then you should be removed from society too, basically, is what Leviticus 21:5 is going on to say. But a better and active right now is Children of God for Life, cogforlife.org, and you can find more information about what I just said here. But if you don't believe me, you can listen to the godfather of vaccinology, Dr. Stanley Plotkin. He was deposed for like 9 hours, and this is just, you can't even, I would show it, but I know you're not going to be able to hear that he's talking about using incarcerated women's children, and just all this messed up, the colonies that they would have in Africa. They would test on. Go ahead.
Oh, me
talking. Yeah.
I mean, I unmuted, but I was gonna say, I think he mentioned 90 fetuses he experimented on, and like something below, I don't know, maybe half that made it in. But yeah, they kind of probe out of him. He says a lower number, and they kind of get out of him that it was like 90 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was even more than that. I think they experimented on like millions of people against their will. So, even if it wasn't just an aborted child a long time ago, like, I mean, we've got all these people that we've documented. We know about the syphilis testing. Why can I not think of that?
Tunguski.
Yes, Tuskegee experiments and all this stuff. So how can we continue to support an industry that relies on blood sacrifice? And it doesn't do a good job either. It just like it makes more disease. I don't know how we got to the I know we were brainwashed, but like the idea that we can treat disease with toxins and all this terrible, awful stuff. I mean, if you looked at the ingredient list on a vaccine or other pharmaceutical, you'd be like, oh, this looks like a product of sorcery. I don't know.
Just look
Am
at
I
it like
right?
an alien. What if an alien, like the comedian, a comedian I can't name, I can't remember who it was, says alien lands. He talks to a human, says, "What are you doing?" Human says, "Going to work." He goes, "What for?" He goes, "Well, to make money." He says, "Why do you need money?" He goes, "To buy food." And the alien says, "What's all this crap all over the ground?" We never talk about food as medicine and medicine as food, as Hippocrates himself, who supposedly is the founder of modern medicine, said, that's his own words, let food be your medicine and medicine your food.
100%. Okay, you talked earlier about like, we've got to work for the local and the state and the federal. We got to win that back, and but most importantly, we have to win back the family unit because that is the bedrock of society. 100%, Jason. How pornography has destroyed the family unit. There's been a lot of things, but this is probably one of the strongest still. And people want to say that pornography is okay, whatever, but human trafficking aside, which is we have the largest population of sex slaves that we ever have had ever in time. I mean, thousands of kids go missing every year in the US alone. I mean, Epstein, but most people, I mean, like Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager just went on not too long ago saying, well, I mean, pornography, if you're doing it instead of your wife, then that's messed up. But if it's instead of adultery, then, I mean, it's probably okay. I don't know how you got there, that that line of acceptable, but it's not. And pornography literally means prostitute pictures. I will put the link to this article down in the description below. We're running out of time, so I don't want to focus on it too much. But we've got the occult really pushing for pornographic stuff in our schools, not just the pharmaceuticals, but pornography in our schools and the LGBT stuff. So Sarah, you posted this last year, and it was a survey. I'm not going to read all of this, but if you want to tell me kind of the gist here and what's going on.
Yes, so that picture, if you can, I can't quite see it. Well, I can get it pulled up, but so there's a basically it's like a QR code, I think, and it's like a flyer that was in one of the schools called Adams here at Abilene, and it's the tech school. So you like choose to go to that school if you don't want to go to if you want to do technology and STEM, all that. Anyway, it was a survey that kids could take to answer questions about LGBTQ, how they identified. I think I listed some of the questions there. If you identify, do you want to come out? Do you feel safe as LGBTQ in Abilene? Yeah. And so then on the flyer, it was actually turns out students made the survey for a project that was assigned to them by a teacher at that school. And I called the school district. The school district had no idea about it, and ended up when I went back into the survey, because I was going to start screenshotting the questions, the survey was taken down. I emailed the teacher, no response, and I finally actually emailed one of the students because they had their email up there, and they didn't respond. It was on the student email, but basically no response. But I will say, when I did call the school district and I called admin, they could not believe it. Like, they were shocked that this was hanging up in one of their schools. So, but yeah, I mean, there's kids that don't know about that. They've never heard of that, and they go Google it, or I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're questioning because of their environment at school, and then they go take that survey, and I don't know what happens, how they answer that survey, or if they get a response from the student, like if they put their email in. I don't know what the intention was.
Well, just some advice, Sarah. Something that the school board and McKinney has done, and the school district administration is flat out lied to our community and said, "Oh no, we're not doing this. Oh no, we don't have drag queen reading hour videos. Oh no, we don't have those." But if you're watching it, then they take it down. And then they had to admit it because we caught them in the act of taking it down. I won't say all administrations are this way. I hope that they aren't. I know superintendents that are really good people out there that would not do these things. But whenever an administrator or a school board says we're not doing this, this, and this, I automatically question them saying that. If you go to many sites like the Pulitzer Prize, it'll actually teach you how to put these concepts into everyday classrooms so that you're not actually buying a product as a teacher. You're actually developing your own lesson plans based out of the concepts they want you to teach. And so it's a way for them to get around, and it's a way for the administration to say, "Oh no, we're not doing these things." I think there was a video that came out of about 6 to 8 months ago where a reporter was going around to different school districts. One of them was Keller. I think one may have been Grapevine, Colleyville. Maybe it wasn't Grapevine. I know one was Keller. So they looked at 3 different districts, and in all those districts, the administrators told them, "Oh yeah, we're still teaching critical race theory. We're just doing it in a different way so that nobody really knows what we're doing." And so there's a real effort to deceive in an industry which I had in the past had the greatest respect for, because I knew a lot of people that were teachers. People in my family were teachers, and they were very professional. But what's happening now is not what we're used to in the past, and we need to be really careful about just giving them the benefit of the doubt. They really need to confirm and prove that that's not going on.
They really need to, yeah, they need to have like a test, a morality standard test.
But you have
Some
to
kind of
you have to get to know
our children being
you have to get to know your kid's teacher.
Yeah, but even
there are
if
good ones out there.
But how do you get them, fired in a world where they're everywhere and they want them to be there,
Well, one problem I see is that parents did not appreciate the good teachers that were there already. There were good conservative teachers still sticking around, and they finally had enough, and they're going to lose more and more. But you have to appreciate and stand up for those teachers who are doing the actual teaching and not the indoctrinating.
100%. Well, we're running out of time, so I wanted to touch base on this real quick. HB 900, which would ban pornographic literature in our school libraries, as it should be, is being held up by everyone. And how is it being held up? Yesterday they were supposed to vote on it. Today they're supposed to have voted on it. I don't know if they still have done that or not. Does anybody know about this bill yet? Is it gone through? Have they voted?
I'm reading.
Nobody knows. Well, it's okay. Sarah Fields posted this video of Dave Phelan, and I want to play this for you. Speaking of accountability, Oh yeah, you're not gonna be able to hear it. Okay, well, hold on 1 second. So you need to go follow Sarah J. Fields on Facebook, because Dave Phelan is either drunk as a skunk in that video, or he's having a stroke. There's like no way around it. He's either drunk as a skunk or he's having a stroke. And these are the people who are making decisions on behalf of us. They can't be sober. I just don't understand. All right, what else do I have to show you real quick before it is time to run away? Yes. Thank you for watching this episode of UnSilent Majority Report. Thank you so much to everyone who participated in tonight's little shindig. We've got Brandon. Thank you so much. Follow him. Well, actually, you didn't give me a link, did you?
I'm not on a lot of social media on purpose.
Yeah, I hear you. Sarah did, Chad did, Jason, and is Kyle already left us? I think Kyle left as well. All of the links are in the description below. Please support this channel. If you like have tech experience, please help me, because I do not. But
Katie, don't undercut yourself.
yes.
You are an organizer of major events in Texas political history.
That's right.
You've organized events that filled the Capitol and the parking lot, the governor's mansion. You're awesome.
Yeah.
This is true, but I recognize my shortcomings, and I need some help with the technology. So if you would like to donate any of your time, I know everybody's time is valuable, but if you want to help out with this show, please let me know. Get in touch. But until then, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all tomorrow at 7. Thank you so much.